Angelina and her cousin in-law enjoyed African so much. You can see the radiance in the both faces as they visited another great African family. This time around, you're going to experience the Chinese great meal. And one will be like, are they going to use their hand in eating? Are they going to? So many questions. But right away, if you're so interested, just draw your seat closer. Let's do this together. The joy in experiencing another person's culture and tradition is seen in her cousin Hilla's face, how she experienced African food, African environments, and African culture and tradition the way they do things. She felt so happy to have visited Angelina's place in Zambia. So we heard a question like why is it that you're blurring her chest? Why is it that you're blurring some other parts when she is wearing some certain clothes? We just have to take this so much, because I think we need to understand the fact that Angelina's husband, he's a quite jealous person, and as we're talking, he's watching her and he's watching every move. So that is why they don't want him to be jealous. They don't want him, to feel somehow. He just wants him, to feel that his wife is well secured in Africa. And moreover, you note that the African weather is something not to write home about. In some parts of Africa, it's a bit cold, while in some other parts of Africa, it's very, very hot. I mean hot and warm. So you can compare the weather from one village to another, even from one place to another. That is why you can see that they both have to put on something light. In the African environment, you can't put on sweater. You cannot start putting on sweater. You cannot put on pajamas, or long trouser or socks. You can find that even when they arrive, they are dressing hard to change. Even her cousin in-law dresses, they had to change it because the weather over there is very hot. It's not like when they're in the Chinese environment where they used to cover up. You have to cover your body, put on socks, put on caps, put on, but yeah, in Africa, the weather is far, far different. Now, coming down to a African lady and a cousin, that there is a bit changes over their well-being, like their appearance. They've been enjoying in Africa for some period of time now. We shouldn't forget that if she's going to stay in Africa, there's possibility for her to start preparing herself so as the government will not beat down her visa and all of that. There will be no visa problem. I think we had another person we should consign and say she shouldn't forget that that she'll be staying going back to the Chinese environment. So she should be alert and start preparing herself and for return. So she shouldn't over enjoy herself in Africa. Every day today has the day approach. She had to spend a good time with her parents, spend a good time with her siblings, and also spend a good time with every member of the family. And one thing is, when you have a good bond and you have a parent or you have a siblings who understood and who love you genuinely, some siblings who just want to get that thing that you brought, or that source, that resources, after they zone the resources is 0.0. So we don't know that kind of person. I think Angelina is surrounded with. There are some siblings that are that all what they are concerned about is your wealth, all what they are concerned about is your resources, all what they are concerned. They are not even concerned about your health. They are not concerned about even how you're doing, or what they wants to benefit from. So coming down to a African lady, you see that she ensured that all is happy, whether they good or bad. She just want them to feel home, to enjoy themselves. Just as you can see here, she prepared the Chinese meal and she gave them a kind of chopstick. This time around, they are going to use chopstick in doing this. not the other way around. There is a saying that when you go to the room, you behave like the room, and when you go to the African, you behave like Africans. Okay, so we have here her Chinese, her Angelina's cousin in law who came all the way, with her. So she had been trying her best. Yes, I say she has been trying her best in terms of testing African meal, and hearing their language, trying to cope with the environment, and even eating everything that a African lady is eating. But this time around, they had to, do the Chinese meal. We heard someone, that that experienced or that saw that she did not pull her slippers. Well, I think there's a call for attention when you go to the room or when you go to a certain place and you see this is how they do it. You should try to do how they do it, like how it is being done. Some culture, in fact, are dumb. I say some culture are dumb. Why some other culture they are at least actable? There's something you can, go along with. So in our own case, she tried her utmost best to ensure that she eats, she plays, she make the place, she enjoy everything about their environment. And even with the twin, you can see the twin so beautiful. She playing with the twin, and in fact she's just, so kind-hearted fellow whom the Lord has given to Angelina to work at this season, because left alone for Uncle Zen or even the husband, it would be blow. But thank God for this our cousin in-law that came all the way from the Chinese environment to stay and also to be with her. The both of them enjoy Africa, and the both are having fun in Africa. While they are still in Zambia, let's look forward for the next episode. Alright, this is your be wrapping up today's episode. Please do stay tuned and always stay blessed. And always remember, love takes the lead.